Right, before we begin, I just want to say I'm beyond happy that studios are able to develop the game that they wish to create without publisher interference. Games like Death Stranding, Bugsnax, and now Returnal show us the potential that studios can achieve when publishers allow them to develop the games they envision and work so hard on. This attitude ultimately benefits us all as gamers and for future generations. Without this, there would be no diversity and thus no evolution in gaming. With that said, I want to discuss Returnal's launch and the lesson Housemarque should have taken from Hades and the golden opportunity they came so close to achieving. With the launch of Returnal, the age-old question of game difficulty and accessibility has resurfaced. From Dark Souls to Bloodborne and now Returnal, challenging games have always carried the debate of accessibility versus challenge. Those advocating for accessibility cry that games should be fun for all players regardless of skill level. Purists who believe that games are not meant for everyone and that you should invest the time needed to truly enjoy the game. With both sides come good points for and against. I, for one, lean more towards the accessibility side. Ultimately, if you're not having fun with the game, nor do you have the time to play a game series you love, then perhaps developers need an option to allow fans to enjoy a game in a way that doesn't require a heavy investment of getting good. Regardless of the issue, Returnal faces a different problem. Returnal is a different beast to that of any Souls-like. Take Dark Souls, for example, a series that capsulated. Regardless, the issue that Returnal faces is a different beast to that of any Souls-like. Take Dark Souls, for example, a series that catapulted the challenging games into the mainstream and officially kicked off the Souls-like genre. As challenging as many enemies and areas may seem, the player always has options, from grinding easier enemies to level up, therefore increasing your health, your strength, and enhancing your weapons. Players have the choice to strengthen their character and subsequently increase their survival odds. They could also experiment with different weapons or build, and again, use easier areas to familiarize themselves before attempting a boss. Other players may simply choose to throw themselves at the brick wall again and again before finally breaking through. Regardless, the choice is always in the player's hands. Now, let's look at Returnal. In particular, the difficulty spike from the first boss to the second. If a player is having difficulty in taking on Ixion, then the options are limited. You can only explore the side areas of the biomes and hope for better loot, mods, or upgrades, but due to the procedurally generated nature of the game, the player has very little control, which ultimately it boils down to luck. The risk versus reward system of Returnal is often extraordinarily little reward versus very high risk. Now, let's compare Returnals to Hades, which, in my opinion, has set the benchmark by which all future roguelites and roguelikes will be compared to, and rightfully so. Hades was simply beautiful in every aspect, from style to voice, and last but not least, gameplay. Supergiant Games poured their soul into Hades, and it showed. For the sake of this video, I want to highlight a particular gameplay mechanic and how Hades approached new players. This was achieved through the introduction of a God Mode option. With God Mode enabled, the player's damage output is increased by 20%, and increases a further 2% every time the player dies. This system was the perfect solution to allow newcomers to experience a roguelite while not impeding upon the players who are familiar with the mechanics of the genre and therefore more skilled. You can ignore the option entirely, but if you are having difficulty, you can simply turn it on and continue having fun. Supergiant understood that a player's time is precious, especially in our modern world, not to mention a player base ultimately determines the lifespan of a game and the health of a studio. Therefore, by allowing as many players as possible to play and experience the game, they guaranteed goodwill from players for years to come. And a quick look at their Metacritic score shows that their hard work has paid off. So, why is this a missed opportunity for Housemarque? Well, a lot of that has to do with the lack of PS5 exclusives since the console's launch. Excluding PS Plus subscription games, the only PS5 exclusive is the Demon Souls Remake, and that was over 6 months ago. As such, players have been itching to experience the full capabilities of the PS5. They subsequently have rushed out to purchase Returnal, even if the genre isn't something they're completely familiar with. So, including a God mode or equivalent system seemed like a no-brainer to me, and would allow every PS5 owner to experience what their investment is able to deliver. Had Returnal released after Ratchet & Clank, I'm fairly certain this wouldn't have been as big of an issue as it is now, due to the simple fact that players wanting to see what the PS5 can really do would have been satisfied and would also have something to have fun with, which after all is what this all boils down to. In the modern age, our time is sacred, and if you're not enjoying a game, then you owe it to yourself to find a game you do enjoy. Oftentimes we won't know if we'll enjoy a game until we play it, no matter how many reviews we read or watch. Developers need to understand this and need to offer a solution to assist players who face these problems. Now, if only they could offer us demos again that aren't locked behind pre-orders, but that's a video for another time. I'm going to link a great article by Inverse that highlights exactly what I've spoken about today, but in greater detail. Thank you very much for watching and stay safe out there. See you later.